Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the last video. After I posted it and everything, I watched it and there's way too much talking in it, and we're not going to do another video like that. That's not explaining stuff. I don't want talking without that. But thanks everyone for watching, liking and all that. But at the moment we're trying to get this going again. I'll turn the camera around and give you some advice that maybe is done. It still ran perfectly fine. It had no fuel in it and contact dealer, so usually means that there's a short in it or something. But with these, there's a heap of different clusters to match the fuel pumps. So like this different series, it sucks. When built for I was a street car, I had trouble with it. I never had a fuel gauge in it, ran out all the time. I hated it. So I just brought this one. I didn't know how to, because there's only me here, and I wanted to check that it worked. And if you just let that hang, it's going to say it's empty, the same as the old one said. So I plugged it in there, left it in its bag. So this is held up. So when you look here, it should say basically a full tank, a bit under a full tank. So then you climb up here. Turn it on if it wants to turn on. Steering lock's on. Oh, we're going up. System check, please be okay. Yep. And we're just under a full tank. Bloody oath. So we can get this back on the road. So we can get that out and weld the diff in it. So now we'll just get that out of there, out of the bag, put it back in the tank, put the tank back in, cheering. And just like that, the tank's back in. All bolted up, makes it so much easier to do by yourself with one of these. But we'll get that out, get her down and get her out so we can bring that back, lift it up. We'll have to drop the cradle and everything to weld the diff, but that won't happen today because I've got to go back to work. We've got the FG on the hoist. Don't cut through the exhaust with the 9-inch because you will cut the power steering line as well. That's just great. Well, hopefully that don't leak because that's our solution. I can guarantee you right now, Fords suck. I already had a Holden's one welded and be doing skids by now. They suck. And this is going to be the dodgiest way I weld a diff. Not emptying it, not anything. Sprayed a little squirt of degreaser in there, and now I'm welding it. Debbie cow things. I forgot to video it, but it's welded. It's bolted back on. It's time to put it back in there. I never knew that's what holds the tank in. So I took it off and only just caught that. Thank God he's here. I scared the crap out of me. But we're back in the shed again. Not for long. I've just come back from that job. I'm about to leave again for the next job, but I thought while I was here I'd knock something up. And I just cut all the bits of exhaust that I had a part of the stock one and just went side pipe. Beautiful. Work out whether I'm going to put a couple of tabs to the body. I probably will. It's pretty solid, but on the AU I did, but it kept cracking because it only had one solid mount, and these are both rubber mounts, so I probably won't. I'll just leave it like that. Still got to put that in. I'm not looking forward to that, so I made this instead. Turns out I got bored and the cradle's back in. It's all bolted up, all went good. One casualty, but should be right. That's the casualty. And I cut the handbrake the other day because it was annoying me, but top bolt snapped. Don't need that where we're going. The drive shaft back in, springs back in, shocks back on. We can bring it down and start working out the crossbar. Need a tank for it to run again, but I'm keen as we might bash that up a bit more as well. But awesome. Just a tip for all of you. When you hit something like a roadblock that you can't do on your own, I should have put the springs in before I put these on. And I couldn't pull the arm down as well as put the spring in. Just ratchet strap them together. Still had to get the lever bar, but I could get them right up and nearly in there and then just pop them in with a lever bar. But yeah, this strap made it heaps easier. So sometimes you just got to use your brain, make the job heaps easier. Now all we've got to do is put shocks on. I've put the drive shaft on, I've put the ABS sensors back in. So yeah, now it's just the shocks and we're good to go. Awesome. And there's another case of it. So I almost had a casualty. Hoist isn't holding anything and I wasn't paying attention. Nearly dropped it off the hoist. But then I've got a ratchet strap from the gearbox stand up and around the K-frame. And then I'm jacking this up so I could get the shock bolt in. But it was nearly on the ground. Thank God for that. But now we're going to try and do it to the other side. We've done a big step. And I don't know whether I'm happy about it or not. I'm not sure if it's ever going to run again. But there's the fuse box out of it. And the wiring that runs inside the car. We're obviously going to run a positive down to here. These were positive, but they had like a fuse. Oh, sorry. They had like a fuse or something between them. And then that goes to the alternator, but it's just 5 wires. So I'm just going to get 5 core and run that back up there and plug that back into the fuse box. And then the wiring that ran all the way back around here runs up into there. I don't want to pull all that out as well. So what I've done is, that's where it goes up into the ECU. I've just fed it all back beside it. I'll put tape, or actually I'll probably put expander foam and everything up in there, just so when it takes a hit it doesn't break. And then here's the one that goes around and onto the fuse box. So then all I've got to do is plug that back into the fuse box. Anywhere that was earths, like say this one, I'm just going to clean a bit on the floor and drill them into the, like tech screw them to the floor or something, because there's like 2 in that one as well. That's where the battery's going to mount, so I'm going to try and put the fuse box somewhere around here, and I'm going to have to run there's a gap there. I'll have to run the wiring over, because these two, the white plug and the brown plug, the brown one plugs into there and the white one plugs into there. So I'm hoping I can have enough cord to, like, I don't know, run them up here somewhere. It's all wishful thinking at the moment. But I hope it works, because I really don't want to run it all back through the front, because that sucks. Well, we're about to see if some very creative stuff is going to work. So as I said, I have every wiring out of the front, and this is dodgy because only the lead I could find long enough was sub cable. But we're using the factory earth that comes out of the relay. I don't know Ford's enough to know whether you have to have power at both of them, but this was out of built to fry, so it has 2 positives on it, so I just went to both of them. I could only find 3 earths, and they're both tech screwed there. This power wire is running up here. I haven't tried this yet, so this could be a waste of video, but I want to bring you along. I'm guessing that is for the alternator, as it goes in there and plugs into the alternator, but I can extend that and plug into that relay box anyway. Then I've just put this monstrosity, so that one and the bottom one used to go to those 2 that are on top of the relay box. Obviously this is where the battery went, and then I've just crimped the positive into the middle of them with a pair of multi grips. Let's see if it winds over. It won't start, it's got no fuel tank in it or fuel pump or anything, but all we want to see is if it winds over. Got a brake fault, ABS fault, yep, they're all unplugged, bud. I don't know what DSC is. That's unplugged too. Come on, fingers crossed. Come on, come on, come on. No. Oh, yes. Oh, it didn't work first turn. I thought, uh-oh, I stuffed up. But I'm going to get some degreaser and spray in there. If it starts and runs, we're going to start running a bit of permanent wire up over the dash and doing this 5-core wire and running up over the dash as well. Yes, so that's the plan. I got a recruit, Redneck Science. She's just going to spray degreaser into the intake, and it's got a side pipe, so sec. All right, go. We're getting there. I had the positive post here and the alternator post. I'm not using this sub wire. I didn't like the idea of using it. And then ripped the starter motor wire with the positive all the way back around. Drilled a hole in the firewall and brought it in here. So now I've got factory positive post going to where it's meant to, factory negative post where it's meant to. Just that one that was in the engine bay, I've got to hook to the other side of the fuse for the alternator. So I'll put an end on that. And yeah, I'll put an end on that and we're good. That is absolutely awesome. Then I just got to do the fuel tank, clean it all out, finish welding it up. Crossbar, pillar bar, crossbar, roof to floor bar, and we're going to be on. Yes. Just got back from another long day at work. I cut all of these 4 down because I made them before I knew the rules, and they're only allowed to be 100mm long, and I had them like 220. So I just cut all 4 of them, which sucked. I just completely plated the boot, plate across the top, weld down the seam there. I did it on both sides, and now I'm just going to get like a right angle bit of steel and just go from like here to here, so it'll come down and go in. 2 of them on the bottom, and that's the boot welded. Then we can start cutting up that crossbar. I'm going to do that over the weekend, but it's Thursday today. I gotta go to Sydney still. Yeah, over the weekend we'll do that crossbar and then I can start welding the doors up. As usual, I got ahead of myself and forgot to film, but I've got a crossbar in now. It says you've only got to have 6mm plate on the end. I've put 12mm. Then you've got to have 50 by 50 5mm thick wall. I was going to use this stuff, but then we just thought the strongest that we could use is what I've used. So this is actually off a drill rig, and it's 50, I think it's actually 46. Yeah, it's close to 50mm across, but it's actually 11mm sidewall. So like I'm never going to bend that, ever. Yeah, I'm not going to bend that, that's for sure. So we're just about to put the roof to floor bar, and this is just a guide bit. I'm not using this, I'm using that stuff again. But we're going to be about there somewhere and straight up the back of the headrest to the roof. Be perfect. Then I can start welding the door shut. Keen as, I've still got to do a fuel tank. I've been putting that off because I don't know what to do, but I'll work it out. Well, that is my bar work in. Plated top and bottom. Right in the middle of the seat, so it can't bend. Absolutely perfect. Now I've just got to work out a fuel tank. That's the next thing to tick off. So I can start welding doors shut. Well, I'll probably leave that one and this one just until I finish sorting out the wiring. And I've still got to put a big plate in that door. And then I'll weld it shut. But that door's getting fully welded shut. I'm going to weld the whole way around it. And then these three just get 2 plates per side. But that is not bad. I'm happy with that. Well, we're on this again. I've been sick, still at work, haven't done anything to it, but I've just took that up to the feed, this one up to the return. This one's not hose clamped, that one's all mounted and hose clamped. I think what I'm going to do is put a hole in there and just have that like just into it. Then get one to come out of here and go in that side and go right down to just off the bottom. Not sure, but I think that's what I'm going to do at the moment. So we've scratched the idea of the other jerry can, and the old boy told me that there's a few of these in the container out the back, which is Bushfire Council. That had, I just cut it off, that had a nozzle on the end. So this is a backpack. That had a nozzle on the end to put out fires with. So I just need to make something to hold that, which I will. Just to be able to hook power to the pump, hook the return up and just stick the return in the lid, put a bit of fuel in there and see if it runs. If it runs and works fine, doesn't leak or anything, I'm going to make a bracket somehow for that. Can probably go off the backpack mounts and pull back or something, or I'll go straight over it. I'll work that out, but we're just going with it as we go. We got it running. Bloody works. She's a bit rich, but they were just straight bigger flames on the night. She's hardwired to the battery at the moment. I'll put her on a relay and a switch. But this backpack, we got the return going back into it. Got to make a mount for it still, but it's going to work beautiful. So we're going to smash the heck out of this thing. Well, you know what that means. Gonna smash the heck out of this thing. Oof. That makes me keen. Make a mount for that now. Cut a plate to put into the driver's door, drop down in there, and then start welding all the doors shut. So I've got like 3 days until I go to Bali. So I might get a little bit done on the weekend. I might not. If I do get anything done, it'll literally just be mounting that I'm going to call it a fuel cell, but the backpack. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. Get this up because I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm not going to have any for 2 weeks. Like I said, there might be a bit on the weekend that I'll have to add to the next video. I'm not going to do anything while I'm in Bali. A fair few people ask me if I'm going to do a vlog in Bali. Answer's no. But the day I get back from Bali, I fly into Sydney. I drive the 4 hours back up here, which is real late at night. Go to bed. Get up the next morning and drive all the way to Wagga, which is like 8 hours away. And meet me brother, which is driving the truck up to Wagga. and we do thrasher gnats, which I am keen as for. My ears are ringing a bit, that thing's loud. But thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share it around. Do all the things that everyone asks everyone to do, but cheers, see you in the next one.